Hello everyone and welcome back to Rayman 2 The Great Escape on the SEGA Dreamcast. I am One Sheep and today we're going to tackle the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava? Well, it's one of the Sanctuary levels, but first things first, we run into Lead the Fairy to the left by here. And what we want to do is talk to her yet again. Now I believe she gives you extra power if you finish this race, but I really can't tell the difference. And just like the previous Lee level, this is a race. You just need to run straight to the end, going through all the checkpoints before the time runs out. This one's a little bit more tricky compared to the previous one because they introduced new certain types of platforms you meant to go on, including lily pads. So yeah, it's a very simple stage. You just keep running. Music just jaunty as ever, and to be honest, there's not really much to say about it. Just keep going as fast as you can. Surprisingly, the level theme of this entire race is exactly the same as the previous race. It looks pretty much identical. Although the lily pads that we're going to jump on and ride by here are the major component of this race. Basically, you need to jump on them, wait for the right times, and just sort of try your best to platform as quick as possible. It's very tricky to jump from lily pad to lily pad in a set amount of time that you need to jump across them, obviously, because otherwise you just may miss your jump because you're jumping too soon, or you may just miss your jump because you're jumping too late. So you really need to be pretty spot on with your jumping on this stage, I'm not gonna lie, especially by here, where these lily pads, all the lily pads sort of go into a very specific motion, so they are very predictable where exactly they're going to go. But just be careful anyway, you do need to be as quick as possible. Although for that last lily pad I was just on, it probably would have been safe just to wait, but hey, why wait when you can go fast, as a certain blue hedgehog would say. Wow! Check out the consoles! But anyway, let's just continue moving onwards, collecting as many lumps as possible. And we're coming up pretty soon to one of the levels. The last level that we'll need to collect lumps to enter. Now you might have noticed every time we go into a certain sanctuary level, which I'm cutting, you'll see a cutscene play. I'm cutting out the cutscene for most of the levels, but this level by here is one of those levels where the cutscene doesn't play. And that's because we're not actually going to get a mask in this stage, folks. Because this stage is, in a way, a two-parter. But anyway, she says you get a more powerful shot. I really can't tell the difference. I don't notice any difference in strength. So, unless it's something the developers forgot to put into the game, I have no idea. Let's just jump in the teleporter and go. See us, Lee the Fairy. But yeah, for most of the Sanctuary levels, there's usually a cutscene starting off at the beginning, telling you, hey look, you need this X amount of lumps to join and go into the stage. But the fact of the matter is, this last level doesn't have that cutscene, so just jumping back into the level, and we won't be getting a mask. Now, what I mean by this is a two-parter, like I said earlier, is basically we have to go through this very first stage, this very first segment by here, and you can quite easily tell something's not right here. It's called a Sanctuary of Rock and Lava, but there's not much rock or lava. In fact, it doesn't even look like much of a sanctuary. It's just a random swamp in the middle of nowhere. And that's because this stage is quite a bit different in that we need to actually traverse all the way to the sanctuary. And the sanctuary mostly takes place underground. It is an underground sort of area, underground sort of level, I believe. So we do need to just traverse the swamp and kill these bloody zombified chickens. A pain in the arse these things are. They'll just come out of the ground and they're really obnoxious enemies to deal with, especially later on in the playthrough where we're going to see them a little bit more common. But anyway, as you can see in the distance there, we got another Donkey Kong segment coming up, so we need to jump over the barrels. It brings a whole new meaning to busting our barrels, I tell you. But yeah, jump over the barrels and make your way to the very end as much as you can. The barrels are very easy to dodge, very easy to see, so you won't really have to worry too much about them. Although, grab this purple lump, it's the only way really to traverse. Very easy to sort of miss this purple lump and jump down and die. Like, oh, where do I go? Where do I go? Into the pit. Oh no. What's this thing over here? Oh my god. Okay, hey, what's up? That giant thing, I think, is only really ever seen in this version of the game, and he doesn't do anything. He's literally there just to be scenery, I think. But yeah, the stage for the most part isn't really all that interesting. It's very meh. Not the best in the game. Still good laugh though, still pretty fun. Although these rocks by here really do look weird to me. I've always thought they were like turtle shells, but watch now, that's exactly what they're meant to be. But anyway, we need to shoot behind us when we get around down by here. And open up that there cage, because otherwise we won't be able to cross this platform. Actually, we might be able to cross it. I mean, could we like sort of tightrope across the rope and sort of maneuver? I doubt it. Anyway, this by here is actually the entrance to the sanctuary itself, and I almost died. That wouldn't have been fun. And like I said, we're going to see a lot more golden gloves from this point onwards in the game. Fortunately, sometimes you'll see an enemy that has really low health, so a single boop with the NG pals when you have golden glove Rayman. We'll kill him. That's a, it's what I like to call a golden opportunity. I mean, God. Well, anyway, we're going to go in here and sort of rock out, if we will. And things seem rather ominous and actually quite dark. I don't know, for a place called Lava, Rock and Fire, I think it's called that. I get confused with the names of these stages, to be honest. I don't know. Just continue moving our way. For the most part, though, the stage is pretty uninteresting. I mean, it's got some nice graphics. The aesthetics in this place really look beautiful, but there's not really much really to say. It's just bland. But anyway, as we get deeper into the actual sanctuary itself, now we're gonna start. Things are gonna start getting troublesome. We're gonna start having a little bit more things to deal with, like black lumps on these grates. We need to climb across grates, and be careful of the floor underneath you, because you might notice some vines. And as you can hear, some weird noise going on in the background as well. And that's because there's vines popping out of the walls. And they're some of the major, well, not major, they're one of the biggest threats you can have in the stage, because those vines are basically, they spawn all the challenges of this level. It's one thing I find weird about this place is not much rock. I don't know why it's called the Sanctuary Rock, but there's loads of vines and loads of things that can pretty much instantaneously hurt you. So be careful of them. And everything will be vine. Get it? Because vine is like puns. But let's just continue moving onwards. It won't be much further left. We're going to slowly move into an automated sequence soon as well. And this automated sequence, I'm not going to lie, is pretty bland. Well, not even bland. It's pretty just awkward. Because basically what you want to do is jump on that giant floating flower in the middle of the room. Now this floating flower will take you across to where you want to go, and you're kind of locked in place while you're on this flower. And what you want to do, you basically need to time your NG pedal to blast, so you knock all the vines out of the way so you don't get knocked off. And if you get knocked off, it is exceptionally difficult to jump back on the flower, as you can see by there. So yeah, it's just a timing puzzle where you just really need to wait. However, the biggest problem with this segment is the camera. Now, the actual segment itself is really easy. As soon as you come close-ish to something, just pellet it, but the camera makes this so annoying because you have no control over the camera in this section. You just sort of have to maneuver your way across throughout all the hallways, which is really, really exceptionally annoying. Especially when you get in slightly later parts of the stage where you have to deal with fire as well. So, yeah, there we go. But yeah, seriously, there's not much rock in the stage, so I have no idea why it's called the Sanctuary Rock and Lava. It's just... Let me look at this camera, this is ridiculous. But once you get back into this room on this thing, you'll start going down into the next segment. Now, technically, you could have probably glided down here using your helicopter hair. I wouldn't advise it for the sole fact that you can't really get past this segment like that. But when you break open the giant golden door? Yeah, let's go with that door. You'll need to be careful because as soon as that flower touches the flamethrower in the background, basically the flower is going to burn. And when things burn, you're going to be burned because you're going to have to fall down. You'll have to redo the entire thing again. And there's not many checkpoints in this entire segment. So really, you need to be very, very, very careful. Because otherwise you're going to die. This stage is exceptionally frustrating at this point, I'm not going to lie. You just need to be pixel perfect with your jumps. And it doesn't even look like I can make the jump to that flower there. You can, but it's just really hard to do. So yeah, whenever you see giant golden triangular doorway things, blast them open with the energy pellets and you'll be able to move on just fine. Very annoying though. Very annoying. Leave me alone, you vines. Ugh, this isn't that vine thing on the internet where you have those random videos. Most of which aren't really that funny, but hey. I'm one of the few people who aren't a big fan of the vines online. Anyways, finally, Checkpoint Lum. And we actually got a decent platforming segment yet again. Thank God, I'm getting bored of the boring parts. Now, of course, we get well, we don't really need the health power, but we get a nice health power up to help us out. Which is always appreciated. I mean, we're getting really close to the end of the game, folks. I mean, this LP is going to be exactly 19 parts long, so we're getting close. We're getting really, really close. But of course, just be careful. And this triangle thing on the wall is literally a switch. And what this switch in particular does is it opens up the a little like thing you can jump on to move over to that area where the pirate is. So just keep spamming the switch to move out the platform enough so you can jump on it and move on. You're going to see a lot more switches like that as time goes on, because they are really... Well, they're not used that much, but you just need to spam them for them to keep activating, which will allow you to... It'll allow things to be a bit earlier. Earlier? Easier. It'll allow things to be earlier. What? Now this segment by here, as you can see, there is lava falling from the ceiling. And you're going to see this pillar. What you want to do is actually run underneath and sort of hide underneath this pillar while it goes through the lava fall. And basically you'll be able to progress further simply by timing your jumps good enough. It is very awkward, I will admit, so basically if you're good with timing, you'll be good at this. Of course, now we need to wait. I hate the waiting game. Ah, hey! I would not have noticed that if I didn't wait. There you go, there's a good advantage of waiting, huh? So there we go. But of course, when we go around this corner, there's going to be a pirate on a shelf, and I don't like this pirate. He's really, really freaking awkward to take care of. Basically, I'm doing this the completely wrong way, but hey, loads of people do this their own way. Mine just happens to be really wrong, I think. Why am I doing it right? Basically, you need to try and dodge his blasts and keep out of his range of fire while blasting him. I don't like that enemy's position. It is very awkward, very hard to deal with, I have to say. Ah, bloody black lums. Christ, no wonder people can be racist sometimes when stuff like this happens to you. Come on, die. There we go. So yeah, blast open the giant triangle thing multiple times. Eventually the door will open all the way. And when the door opens all the way, you need to rush straight through it as quickly as possible. Do not stop, because that door doesn't give you much of an inkling on, it doesn't give you much of a chance to really go through. As soon as you pretty much move, it's going to start coming back up and it could crush you. So be careful of that. Anyway, if you want this cage, basically jump down, blow it up and jump back up, because as you can see, there is a pushing wall. And this wall doesn't simply push you off the edge of the platform. Oh, no, no, no. It pretty much kills you, almost. Well, it respawns you at the nearest checkpoint, so don't touch the side of this wall. This wall is bad news. Really bad news. Of course, if you're tricky enough with... Oh, it doesn't respawn you. Alright, then it just hurts you. Well... shut me up, didn't it? Basically, just do your best to try and jump across. And again, that switch, you'll want to push it so you can push that platform out, allowing you to progress into the next area, which is literally the end of the stage, folks. This is the end of this first half of the sanctuary. The second half is actually where we're going to end up getting hold of the mask. So yeah, pretty blah stage. It's not the best in the world, but it can be quite fun. So let's free the teensy and we'll be on our way. So with that, thank you all for watching, folks. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people, and I'll catch you all next time when we take on the Beneath the Sanctuary. That's right, we're going underground, son. So next time we'll see you then. Thank you all for watching. Catch you after. Bye!